How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy, and we're here to present you our NFL Week 6 running back picks. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NFL, NBA, and MLB videos. And if you haven't already, go check out our website at www.dfscheat.com. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content such as this video and many more. So check it out at www.dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, how you doing out there, Jeremy?
Yo, man, what's up? We decided to come right back and hit this running back video. We already had the research done, got a busy night tonight, got stuff to do with the site, make sure we get you guys more content. So, hey, we're just going to break out this running back video, do it now instead of make you guys wait for tomorrow so you have it. As always, though, with any of our videos, make sure you monitor news with some of our picks. Situations may change. And, hey, one thing we haven't mentioned, dude, we need to really break down for these guys is we are giving you guys a lot of free picks. Guys, we're actually playing and locking in the lineups on these videos, but we're not giving you our full list of players, and that's one thing that you want to go ahead and get a membership for. Even if you want to try it this week, sign up for the free membership, man, and see what we've got in the member area with the optimizer, right, with our player pool video that we do where we break down top 5, top 6, top 7 plays and go a little bit more into depth into some of these picks. And we've got NBA coming up. If you go ahead and sign up right now, I think you'll make the 7-day free trial for the first NBA slate. Don't want to miss that. Huge FanDuel tournaments. I haven't looked at DK to see how big those tournaments are, but you got $250,000 first place prize on the line. And, I mean, you want to max into that bad boy, you're going to need an optimizer to do it. So our optimizer's been on fire. The algorithms that we've got plugged in are based on a process. They're not just, hey, spit out the highest, combined or projected lineup. It's actually based on a paper process that we use. Take advantage of what we got. We do like to give you guys the free information, but there's so much more in the member area.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, when we got that NBA pre-order special, $200, get you everything NBA with us all season long, live chat room, my FanDuel and DraftKings cash lineup daily, complete access to our optimizer, all of our content, $200 one-time fee. It's a steal. You're going to win a ton of money. Quickly, you're going to get your money back. So check it out on the site, dfscheatsheet.com. And, hey, man, I'm ready to get into these running back picks. I feel I got some really good picks this week for running back. So, hey, man, last time you did a good job starting us off. I'm going to let you start us off again.
I'm going to go with the guy completely probably off a lot of people's radar, and that's Chris Carson at $6,400. I like this guy, man. I think that he's a bit under the radar right now. I think it's a matter of time before he's that undisputed #1 back. You look at what he's done. The first 2 games, not really involved in the offense. But the Dallas game, he gets 32 carries, 102 yards, a touchdown. He misses a week, comes right back against the Rams, 19 carries, 116 yards. They like to run the ball at the guy. He's a load, and he's explosive. You start looking at the matchup. They're going, the Raiders 30th in total defense, 28th in DVOA against the run. They got they're giving up the 6th most total yards in football as far as total yards per game, over 400 yards per game. So I do like this guy, Chris Carson, in this matchup. There seems to be a lot of value this week as you look down in that $6,000 price range. We just talked about the wide receivers there. Here's another guy, running back at $6,400. And you start to pile up some picks in this $6,000 range that are really, really solid plays with good floors. You can really start to build your lineup for tournaments and go reach up and get some bigger picks that have higher ceilings.
Yeah, no, I definitely like the play. I mean, the guy is, when he gets his opportunity, he takes care of business. That's pretty much what it is. I mean, he does have a problem a little bit. He gets hurt, gets banged up, but, yeah, I mean, if he's going to be in there, you're going to tell him he's going to get 20 carries. Sign me up. Very fair price tag. I think he's a good play. So, I'm going to start off with the dub play. Some people are probably going to be like, hey, you're just repeating yourself every single week. But guess what? Every single week, the guy is right there. This week, I'm going to go right back to the well. You got Todd Gurley. I mean, the guy's just an absolute monster. The past 2 weeks, he's got you at least 27 fantasy points. I mean, he's giving you a very, very high floor for your cash games. I mean, I understand the price is high, but he's going against Denver. Denver is last in the league versus the run. They're allowing 5.6 yards per carry. Gurley, I mean, Denver's offense as well, they haven't been very good. So I feel that, the Rams are going to get up on him. They're going to just ground and pound with Gurley. I don't feel that the Broncos are going to be able to keep up in this game. I mean, Gurley's just a beast. He leads the league in carries. He leads the league in touchdowns. He leads the league in total touches between catches and carries. I mean, it just shows you like how much they're using this guy. And I think it's, just another great week. If we talk about all these, good guys in the 6,500s, if there's 3 really good guys that you trust in the 6,500, that allows you to pay up for a Todd Gurley. So, I mean, I definitely think we're going to have to pay up somewhere. And I think this would be a great spot to pay up at.
You said it best, the dub pick, right? I mean, I mentioned a couple of things around the wide receiver situation that I liked, mainly with Cooper Kupp and Brandon Cooks. We won't know until tomorrow what the injury status is, where they're at in the concussion protocol. But if those 2 guys don't go, I said I like Robert Woods. If they don't go, you have to absolutely love Todd Gurley even more than one already would. 29.8 is the implied total for points scored. This guy is a red zone monster as well. There's not a lot to say about Todd Gurley to sell this pick. His price is very deserving of the production. Like you said, getting you 27 fantasy points over the last 2 weeks. There's not a lot to add to that. Todd Gurley's a no-brainer, especially for cash. That's where you start your lineup at. Just plug Todd Gurley into your running back number 1 spot and then start building out your lineup around that. So the next guy I'll go with is a guy that I wasn't big on last week, and you picked him, Christian McCaffrey. $8,400, 63 carries, 329 yards, has not scored a rushing touchdown. I touched on that last week. It was part of the reason why I didn't like him, because I didn't feel he was going to get the red zone carries. 27 receptions for 192 yards and 1 receiving touchdown. Washington is deceiving. They just got the brakes beat off of them by New Orleans. Going into that game, they were top 5 defense in almost every statistical category except for one, and that's DVOA. They are 31st in the NFL in DVOA against the run. Their defense, we use a term a lot in fantasy called regression, and it was a matter of time before that Washington defense started to show some regression. I think New Orleans hit him right between the eyes. I like Christian McCaffrey in this game. I think that for Christian McCaffrey to score a rushing touchdown, it has to be a 20-plus yard touchdown or 15 at minimum. I just don't see him getting the red zone touches to be able to pound it in the tackles for the same exact reasons I mentioned last week. But this guy's too explosive. He's too dynamic in this particular matchup to not mention him. I wouldn't pivot off of him. In other words, I wouldn't go to McCaffrey over Gurley. If you're going to play Gurley, play Gurley. But I would find a way with all the value on the board to go ahead and add Christian McCaffrey as running back number 2 this week. I think that's where Christian McCaffrey really deserves to be. If his price starts to creep up past where it's at right now, he's almost unplayable because he's not a red zone running back, and they haven't demonstrated the commitment to him in the red zone. But this week in this matchup, it's the guy I really like. Like I said, 31st in DVOA is Washington against the run. I think McCaffrey gets 20 carries this week and probably 5 to 10 targets. Absolutely love the pick, and I love the play.
Yeah, hey, I'm a McCaffrey fan. I told you last week, and you didn't want to get on board with me, and I'll go right back to the well. Definitely going to have him in some of my lineups and my player pool. He's a good play. The fact with him is they've committed that now they are going to give him 20 carries. You know what I mean? And not only that, he's going to get 10 targets a game. I mean, we're talking almost 30 total targets a single game between carries. And targets. I mean, I definitely think that he's a really good play. The
thing about McCaffrey, though, last week, right, if you think about it, he gets 17.8 points in that matchup. He did get the receiving touchdown, so that gave him 6. He really only had like an 11-point game, right? So we talk all the time about guys who had a good game and needed a touchdown to kind of put them over the top. He got that touchdown last week, situation that I thought it would be. He'd have to get it receiving or he'd have to bust a long run. I just feel this week in this spot, his skill set against that defense is an absolute A-plus matchup, right? I just think that this is a week to play a guy like Christian McCaffrey, who's a very versatile back. Like you said, they're going to give the guy 20 carries a game. They're going to make a commitment to that. I don't see him getting red zone carries, though. I just don't. But I think his skill set against this defense is an A-plus matchup this week.
Yeah, I like the play for sure. Man, I don't got much else to say about it. So me, I'm gonna move on to my next play. I'm gonna go with another guy that I talked about last week. I'm not trying to be repetitive, but I mean, there's not too many really consistent running backs in the league. You know, there's a handful. There's not even 10 really. And so I'm gonna go right back to the well to TJ Yeldon. No Fournette again this week. Last week he was chalk. I expect him probably going to be chalk again this week. The price didn't go up very much. Last week, I mean, they trailed. What I actually really like about him is last week they pretty much trailed the whole entire game. You know what I mean? They were getting their ass kicked the whole entire game, and he was still in there. He was still taking care of business. He got 122 yards, total yards, got a touchdown, had a very respectable week when they were trailing the whole time. So this week I don't expect him to be trailing against the Cowboys. I definitely think it's going to be a close game. Like we talked about, our Cowboys defense, we're actually not too bad of a defense, but hey, we're not the best defense either. We're in the middle of the pack. Yeldon's going to be a workhorse. He's going to be in there and he's going to get his touches for sure. Fair price tag, 7,100. So I definitely think you could put him in your cash game that gives you a solid floor.
The two things that have always kind of kept me from playing TJ Yeldon, one of them is he's been in some really good spots in the past, and then you look at a guy like Corey Grant who's just sharked him for a touchdown, or the guy behind him who's come in and sharked him for a touchdown in a situation. Corey Grant out. He's on IR. So you start looking down that list. Tommy Bohannon is a guy that they've got listed. I don't see him sharking touchdowns. Crazier things have happened. If you've got Fournette who's doubtful, so Yeldon becomes a really popular play. You mentioned something about last week. They trailed almost the whole game, and he stayed in the game. They don't have anybody else to turn to, evidenced here by his 10 targets last week, 8 receptions on 10 targets for 69 yards and a receiving touchdown. That's one thing you have to like about Yeldon with a healthy Fournette is he, provides the opportunity to catch a few balls out of the backfield. He's had solid targets all year long, 7, 5, 7, 3, 10, right? So, I like this guy. The only skeptical thing for me is I think Dallas's defense, they showed on Sunday night against Houston that their problem is not defensively. Rob Marinelli's done a really good job with this defense. They have a really good front seven. They're 11th in DVOA. I will probably stay away from him in my tournament lineups because I think there's some better matchups. But for cash, the guy's going to be so popular, it's almost like a free square. This is kind of a no-brainer play in a running back number 2 spot for your cash games.
Yeah. Hey, Jay, real quick. So before you get your last pick, tell me what my boy, he wrote me right now, right? He's like, hey, I was checking out the video from earlier, and your boy, he shaved his head.
I just took my hat off, man. Hey, I actually cut my hair every Friday morning. Like it's like my pregame kind of deal, right? I cut my hair. I don't shave all week, right? So all I did was take my hat off, man. I can't grow it. I'm bald.
Shoot, bro. Yeah, I was trying not to bust the laugh when I read his comment.
I don't think I've actually let my hair grow since like 2012 was the last time I had hair.
So
I just took the hat off.
Get a haircut in the morning, bro. I'm looking rough. Just been busy, but yeah, let's not get off track. Let's get to these last 2 picks. So who you got for us next?
So this is my gut play. My gut play is Devontae Freeman, $6,600. He only has 14 carries this season. Well documented, the guy hasn't played due to injury. He's there. Atlanta's at home. Atlanta's in a must-win situation. They have to win this game. They are 1-4 and cannot lose and fall further behind Carolina in this division. They just can't lose this game. Hey, for week 6, this is as must-win as it gets for an Atlanta Falcons team that's been absolutely burned. I like Devontae Freeman. I think he doubles his carries for the season in this game. I like him to get 2 touchdowns this week. This is my gut feeling play. Love the guy in tournaments. Do not think he'll be very owned at all. I think you could probably get him in the 5% range in tournaments this week. I just don't think anybody's going to be on him. I think it's a really good spot. Tampa Bay 21st in DVOA against the run. My gut play is Devontae Freeman, $6,600, 2 touchdowns this week.
Yeah, hey, I like the play. I mean, last year last year and even the beginning of this year, they shown that they like to get him the ball in the red zone. They like to get him the ball more than they like to get Julio the ball in the red zone. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He is their number one running back. I mean, he's been hurt, so he hasn't got this workload. He came back last week, correct? So, you know, they took it a little bit easy on him. But, you know, like you said, big game, must win. They're going to go to their number one back. And I definitely can see him getting a lot more touches this week. A 2-touchdown call, that's a little brave. But, hey, I could definitely see it happening. And a very fair price tag, too. If he gets back to his regular workload, he's going to jump right up to the 7,500 mark, you know. So it's a good buy low opportunity for him.
This guy's been a $9,000 running back. That's the crazy thing, right? So injury has kept him from being that huge running back. You take a look back to last year, you know, I remember it because he burned me when he got concussed on his first carry against the Cowboys. And then, you know, he didn't really have a season that was one to remember last year. But this guy, like you said, they like to get him the ball in the red zone. You take a look at last week, he did get 8 carries in a game that they were never in a situation to actually run the football. They trailed from the very first possession. They had to throw the ball to keep up in that game. They didn't do that very well. It just wasn't a situation for him going away for him to carry the ball. I think this week they've got a different game plan. Tampa Bay's very bad against the run, like I said. Tampa Bay's defense as a whole is not good. This is a game that I think one of two things happens from a game flow standpoint. One, it shoots out, and he's very heavily involved on first and second down in the passing game, screen pass, red zone opportunities, etc. Or two, they get up on them early, and then they use the run game with him like a 1-2 punch with him and Coleman to try to grind that game out and shorten it. I think that, you know, last week didn't dictate it. Getting 8 carries in that environment last week was probably about what any running back would get in that situation. You know, it just didn't dictate for that to happen last week.
Yeah, no, so I definitely like the play. I think it's a really good play. So I'm going to finish this off with our final play. I'm going to go with the guy I liked last week, but I had a question mark on him because, you know, the coach said all week he wanted to limit him. We're talking about Joe Mixon for the Bengals. You know, the coach said that he wanted to limit him, but then there was not one running back that got any other carries, actual carries, besides Mixon last week. He's got at least 22 carries every single game that he's played this year. His backup in, you know, the third down back, and Gio Gonzalez is out. You know, the Bengals, they're a favorite in this game. You know, he's going to get all the goal line carries. You know, there's no other running back. The guy's just going to be the guy. I feel like he's really similar to TJ Yeldon in the fact that we're saying TJ Yeldon. There's not nobody behind him. These guys are going to be in there. He's going to get a couple passes. It's going to be a high-scoring game against the Steelers. And he's going to, you know, I just like the opportunity. The price tag is still very fair at a $7,500 price tag. It's not, you know, $8,000 yet. If he's going to get the workload, I definitely think he's a really good player.
Look, man, I like this dude when he was at Oklahoma, right? I think this dude's special. I liked him last year. I probably played him too much last year for the running backs that they had and the situation they had there in Cincinnati. I think that they've shown this is their number one running back, period, point blank, end of story. The guy's explosive, and the opportunities that he's had, I mean, you start looking at it, he's only run the ball 60 times. He's got 272 yards. You know, he's more than 4 yards a carry. Only 1 rushing touchdown. He does have 1 receiving touchdown. Not a lot of targets, but this is a really explosive running back. I think that, you know, they held him out in the games he missed. If you think about the time he missed, that wasn't a serious knee injury. I think that was more precautionary for something that's like a sprained knee or something like that. They held the kid out because he is their future. That's their number one running back. They haven't had a solid number one running back. You know, you take a look at what they did with Bernard, and I don't know why the name slipped my mind, but the other kid they had there with Bernard, that was a, you know, which guy did you want to play there? Cincinnati, you don't have to worry about that anymore. This is the number one running back in Cincinnati.
When they had it,
carries against Indianapolis, right? You look at the Baltimore game, 21 for 84 on the injured knee, right? On the injured knee. Hurt his knee early on, comes in that game, runs some really hard yards, had a huge run for a first down to seal that game out for them and kind of grind the clock out. 22 carries in his first game back against Miami for 93 yards. 4 targets in that game, 3 receptions, 22 yards, and a touchdown. This guy is explosive. If you look at the caliber of running backs that come out of Oklahoma, they're two-way guys. And what I mean by that is they're good pass catchers and they're really good explosive running backs between the tackles. They can bust the big play at any time. I like this guy. You want to say you're going to limit him. You gave him 22 carries last week. You had him involved in the passing game to the tune of 4 targets. That's 26 total opportunities, over 100 total yards. So I love Mixon. I probably like Mixon more than I like Yeldon, even though I know Yeldon will probably be as popular as Mixon because of the Fournette situation. They don't have the backup. The backup is out on IR. So I love this play.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, that's all I got for running backs this week. You got anything else to add? We got any questions? Are you ready to get out of here?
We've got one question, and that is Jamal Williams or Wendell Smallwood. I'm assuming this is talking – it has to be talking about the Thursday through Monday slate because of the Wendell Smallwood situation. I want nothing to do with anything that has to do with Green Bay in a running game. I just don't. I don't want anything to do with it. I think Wendell Smallwood's in a good spot, especially with, you know, the Ajayi torn ACL, the running back situation in Philadelphia.
Sproles is out as well still. So it's good. But the thing is the 2 dudes are going to be a running back by committee. That's what's going to happen.
They're going to be running back by committee. I think that they've made more of a, for lack of a better term, effort, I guess, to kind of showcase Corey Clement when it comes down to the red zone. I know if you look at his game log, he had the rushing touchdown back against Tampa Bay on 9/16, where he had only 6 total carries for 30 yards and a touchdown. That one touchdown, if I'm not mistaken, was a red zone touchdown. That was a week that everybody was on him that week as it was. I think you can't go wrong with either one of these guys, Wendell Smallwood or Corey Clement in this game. Sproles still has the hamstring injury. Again, I want absolutely nothing to do with anything that's got to do with Green Bay's running game.
Yeah, definitely. Fair answer for sure. So I think that's about it for us here with our running back video. If you do got any more comments or any more questions, you can hit us up below. I will definitely try to get to those as soon as I can. Go check out our site, dfscheatsheet.com. Take advantage of our special offer we have on our NBA pre-order special. Hey, and that's it, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.